No one in Miami talked about Mercy Hill Hospital anymore. Not because it was forgotten, but because everyone remembered it too well. The hospital stood on the edge of the city, hidden behind tangled banyan trees and broken iron gates. Built in 1825, it was once the most advanced medical center in Florida. Soldiers were treated there, wealthy families donated to it, and the poor came hoping for miracles. But by the late 1800s, strange things began happening. Patients claimed they heard whispers at night. Nurses quit without explanation. Doctors refused to take the night shift. Then, one winter evening, the hospital closed forever after a fire killed 7 patients and a young nurse. The official story said it was an accident. The locals said something else lived in Mercy Hill, something that never left. 200 years later, the building still stood. Collapsed wings, shattered windows, and walls blackened by time. But there was one part of the hospital that looked untouched. Room 309. People said it was the only room that never aged. Houses around the abandoned hospital heard strange noises at night. Soft piano music, slow footsteps, and sometimes laughter that sounded too old to belong to anyone alive. Police were called many times. Every time, they searched the building and found nothing. No electricity, no speakers, no people. Still, the sounds continued. That mystery reached Ethan Moore and Clara Reyes, a young couple living just 3 streets away. Ethan was a freelance journalist who loved unsolved mysteries. Clara worked as a psychology intern at a local clinic and didn't believe in ghosts, but she believed in trauma, mass hysteria, and how fear could trick the brain. When Ethan suggested they explore Mercy Hill Hospital, Clara hesitated. "I don't like this place," she said. "Some patients at the clinic talk about it in their nightmares. That's not normal." "That's exactly why we should go," Ethan replied. Imagine the story. After weeks of hearing the sounds grow louder, sometimes even calling their names in the quiet of night, Clara finally agreed. One visit, just to prove it was nothing. They went on a humid Friday evening, just before sunset. Ethan carried a flashlight, a camera, and a small recorder. Clara brought her phone and a notebook, habit of a psychology student. The gates were locked, but broken enough to crawl through. Inside, the air smelled like mold and salt from the nearby ocean. Their footsteps echoed through empty halls. Paint peeled from the walls like dead skin. Rusted hospital beds lay upside down in dark corners. Then they saw it. At the end of the corridor, behind a door that looked brand new, was room 309. The door was white, clean, polished. No scratches, no dust. It didn't belong in a building that was falling apart. "This doesn't make sense," Clara whispered. Ethan smiled nervously. "That's journalism gold." When Ethan pushed the door open, both of them froze. Inside was not a hospital room. It looked like a luxury hotel suite. Golden lamps glowed softly. Fresh curtains moved with air that didn't exist outside. A king-sized bed with spotless sheets stood in the center. On one wall hung a large mirror framed in silver. And on a small table sat a crystal music box, playing the same slow melody people heard in their houses every night. "This is impossible," Clara said. "There's no power in this building." Ethan stepped inside first. The moment his foot crossed the doorway, the temperature changed. The air became warm, comfortable, safe. For a second, he forgot they were in an abandoned hospital. Clara followed slowly, her heart racing. Then the door closed behind them. Not slammed, just quietly shut. The music box stopped. The silence became heavy. Ethan raised his flashlight, but the room was already lit. The lamps glowed brighter, as if reacting to them. Then Clara heard it, a soft whisper near her ear. "Stay." She turned fast. "Did you hear that?" "Hear what?" Ethan asked. Before she could answer, the mirror on the wall fogged up. Words appeared as if written by an invisible finger. "You both came back." Ethan laughed nervously. "Okay, someone's messing with us." But Clara felt something deeper, something she couldn't explain in words. This room wasn't new. It was pretending to be new. Time moved strangely inside room 309. Minutes felt like hours. Ethan began seeing shadows move in the corners of his eyes. Clara felt pressure in her chest, like the room was breathing with her. Then they started hearing voices. Not scary voices, familiar ones. Ethan heard his late father calling him by his childhood nickname. Clara heard her mother's voice, comforting her the way she did when Clara was sick as a child. The room knew them. That was the worst part. "You feel safe here, don't you?" A calm voice said from nowhere. Clara grabbed Ethan's hand. We need to leave. Now. But Ethan wasn't listening. He was staring at the mirror. In it, he didn't see his reflection. He saw himself lying in a hospital bed, old and smiling peacefully. It shows you the end you want, the voice said. We only take the pain away. Clara forced herself to stay rational. This is psychological manipulation, she said out loud. Some kind of hallucination. The voice laughed softly. 200 years ago, this hospital promised healing. But pain never left people. So we stayed and learned how to keep them. Suddenly Clara understood. The hospital wasn't haunted. It was feeding on broken minds, loneliness, fear, anything that made people want to stay somewhere else. Room 309 was its heart. Everyone who entered and never returned became part of the sound, the whispers, the comfort it offered the next victims. We have to go, Clara shouted. She pulled Ethan toward the door, but the door wouldn't open. The lights flickered. The room changed. For a moment, it looked like a real hospital room. Old beds, bloody sheets, burned walls. Shadows of patients filled the corners, all staring. Don't leave us, they whispered together. Clara screamed and pushed the door again. This time it opened. They ran, down the corridor, through broken halls, out into the humid Miami night. They didn't look back. People saw Ethan and Clara return that night, but they weren't the same. Ethan stopped speaking within a week. He sat in his room, staring at the wall, whispering about a beautiful place that wanted him back. Clara tried to stay strong. She went back to her clinic, but she couldn't sleep. She heard the music box every night, even miles away from Mercy Hill. Doctors said it was shared psychosis, trauma, stress, hallucinations. But Clara knew better. The room had followed them. Not physically, mentally. Slowly, Ethan was admitted to a mental health facility. A month later, Clara joined him. Now, new families live near Mercy Hill Hospital. They still hear music at night. Sometimes a soft knocking. Sometimes two voices whispering together. Stay. And in room 309, the bed is always warm.